Hey guys, I hope you guys are well. Today I'm going to do a quick book review called Fox Goes North by Jeremy Strong. And we got the illustration by Hee Goon Kim. I chose this book because I really like the drawing in this book. It's so like wholesome and cute, and look, it's just like, and this is the map book. So I was really interested because of the art. This is the blurb, for those who can't see. So, if those who don't know, Jeremy Strong is a very famous children author. He's written just over 100 books, and this is his final book. So, this is his last book before that he will ever write, because the author has passed away in 2024 due to terminal cancer. So I didn't know that this was his last book until I read the note from the author himself, and that it helped him with his own personal journey. And I read this, like, I only found this out halfway through when I was reading the book. I was like, oh. And I was really even more interested in finishing this book and enjoying this book, because this was his last book. So essentially, this is really precious, and even though he has unfortunately passed away, his books are still living for, for people, for everyone to read. So that is, so definitely check this book out. So this is about Fox, who is unfortunately also on her last journey. She is going on an adventure to see the Northern Lights, and she is traveling with animal travelers slash friends. So that includes bear, llama, moose, token, here, and owl, and also a wolf with a tail. So quite an interesting mix of group of animals. A few of the animals does help along the way, including like a few beavers, the snow leopard, and obviously they're also they're just like, these are characters they meet. So they go on a journey to see the Northern Lights, and Fox really wants to see it before she unfortunately passes away. And the reason why Fox is passing away, she's aware from it right from the beginning, is because she's aging. She had a lot of children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, so it's because of age. So essentially natural death. So I would give this book honestly a 5 stars. I've also read this along with the Hetty Feather series, the Christmas special during the bank holiday weekend. This helped me out a lot because it was so hot. So I don't know if you know, but like the bank holiday weekend was 33 degrees, and yeah. Then next day was, I think it was 30 degrees, but it was really hot. Like it was like it was too much. This book also helped me got through it. So honestly, I like the adventure, but it's not a short story, so not a lot. So it's not so you could definitely read this in a few days. I was obviously taking my sweet time in reading this because I really enjoyed the adventure and the journey, and I want to take in every bit of the wholesome moment. I wasn't in a rush to finish it. With short stories, sometimes I don't want to finish it all in one go because it's not a race. I really want to take my time reading it. With one thing when I was reading is they had like a forest fire, so I think I really like the fact that, with the author wasn't just pointing out just, the idyllic picturesque life of being in nature, but also the challenges, because with forest fire, a lot of animals were in danger, and Fox and her group of friends were trying to help all the animals and rescue them, essentially becoming like a Noah's Ark, and rescuing all the little ones, all the animals, like all the forest animals like bears, fox, squirrels, llamas, just helping them, mice, everything, to protect them from the forest fire, and it was really dangerous. In the book, it has mentioned that it has happened before, showing the importance of looking after a forest, being aware of human activities such as wildfires. So I just thought like it was like a very kind of like a dangerous moment in that sense. What I like about the book is got cute animals. I love Fox. She's a really good cook. I love when they go to the journey to see the Northern Lights. It wasn't like it was picturesque, but it was that journey wasn't picturesque itself. There was a lot of difficulties trying to get there. It was a lot of challenges, so they weren't really out here romanticizing it, which I kind of thought it would happen, and I would have enjoyed it all the more, all the same. But it was like, sorry guys, I know it's raining. Yeah, it's raining now. But it was like there was still some like danger. So when they met the beavers, they had to cross the river, and the beavers kind of like blocked the dam so they could cross the rivers to go to Snowland, which is I'll show you in the map actually. To go to Snowland, so there's the river. You have to cross that to go to Snowland, and past the Snowland is where the wolf packs, and then you see the Northern Lights. So yeah, they're like, oh well, yeah, there's the beaver, and they had the beaver dam, so they crossed that. They blocked that so they can cross it to go to Snowland, but it's like huge mountains, and past the mountains, they have to wait to see the Northern Lights. And this is, I'm assuming it's Fox, and there's the snow leopard. This is the forest, no, fallen tree they had. This is the forest fire. I like that. I just like the maps does kind of tell how the story happens. There is a bridge to get there to Snowland, but it's a lot longer, so it's easier to get to the river, but it was more dangerous. This is where Fox meets Ilama, who is the youngest of the group, and then it comes in order with like meeting Owl. Let me actually. Owl. So we've got Ilama met Owl on their journey, because within that actually adventure, like the travelers, they were already Token, who has a magnetic beak, which is why it shows the compass here. And then they also had the moose, who carries the entire house, which is insane. And also a bear as well. He essentially studies about it. Guys, I do apologize. It hasn't like we haven't had thunderstorm like this in a while. Anyway, so we have the bear. So I'll just show you how it happens. Like, this is so cute, and this is what really attracted me, wanted to read the book, because how beautiful the art is, and this is how it looks. So essentially the moose is riding the whole house, and there's the Token, like exotic bird, and there's the bear. So they really are travelers. They're like adventurers. So this is essentially what happens. It's a very short story. You can honestly finish it. I gave it 5 stars. It was wholesome. It was cute. They had adventure. They had danger. They had challenges. And when obviously the fox eventually does pass away, it was after the scene of Northern Lights. And I have to say, it wasn't like I didn't expect to be a dramatic death, but I kind of did expect. I expected it to be, but it wasn't. It was just like, oh, like Fox saw the Northern Lights. And the one thing I'll get to that bit is that one thing I'll say it now. One thing I say is when they finally saw the Northern Lights, I wish the illustration was in color, because I didn't want it in black and white, just because I feel like it would have looked so good. You know, like the kind you see in like web, like manhwa, but like in even a manga, some things they'll put it in color if it's something like so amazing. But this is what this, I'll show you this, like this is what they see the Northern Lights, and I just wish it wasn't black and white, because you can't tell. Like, you can't tell. It look like mountains. Like, you just can't. It look like snow. Like, this is when they see the Northern Lights, and I love it. Like, Fox is there. She's wrapped up warm because she's almost towards the end. Guys, I do apologize about the rainstorm. So, wow. We haven't had this in ages. It's insane. That's not happened in a while. I thought it stopped raining, but clearly it didn't. And this is Fox's last final moments, which is really like sad in a sense. But Fox did embrace death, and I think that's something reflective of the author, because he is aware that he had, unfortunately, had cancer, and he's aware that he has terminal cancer. He has very not much long to live, and it's just like, I guess it reflects with the Fox was just like, you know, not afraid of dying, just accepting that, because everyone has their own, I don't want to sound too morbid, but everyone, you know, will one day have their own passing. But yeah, it was sad, but the animals understand that it is the cycle of life. If it didn't in this book, at least, with foxes passing away, because fox passed away because of, you know, old age. But you know, I think the journey, what I will also say, is really short. I wish it was a bit longer, but because I only met Fox right towards almost the end of her journey. So 'cause she was all she at the start of this book, Fox was aware that she was really dying. It was really mentioned early, so it was about thing I would really would like if the journey was a bit longer. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the end, or like, but they do essentially move on and understand that they will continue their journey. But I think it's just like this is just like this book is like pure evidence that everything moves on, and you know, Jared, the author, has passed away, but his book still lives on. I have read it without even realizing that this was Jeremy Strong's last book. I've seen one of his book, but I haven't read any of his book, and it's so ironic that I managed to read his last book, and it's the last book he will ever read. But it's a really good book. 5 stars I would give it. In terms of like Fox's role in this book, she is a florist, which is like she can tell what things will happen by reading the flowers, and she's also a really good cook as well, and also she can make, I wouldn't say make medicine, but she's can, you know, help with the wounded. She tends the wounded during like the forest of fire. This is a really good book. I am so grateful to be reading it. I'm so honored to be reading Jeremy Strong's book. I'm grateful that I get to read his last book. Even though his last book is my first book. I haven't read any of his book. It's so ironic. And it is even as irony in this book is when Fox joins the crew, there was another animal that comes in, which is Ilama, and she's the youngest of the group, and then Fox is the eldest. And I just thought that it was just so coincidental. So is it really a coincidence? Who knows? But yeah, so ironic with me is I'm first time I'm reading his last book. So his last book is my first book. But anyways, probably is for some of you guys, if you haven't heard of this author or haven't read this book, definitely check out his Fox Goes North. Maybe definitely read out his last book if you want, before you read all his other classic book. He's also, I have definitely seen I've seen 1 or 2 of his book. I've definitely seen the author, but I don't know why I didn't check out his books. He's also, I forgot to say, is famous for he was very keen into encouraging children to read, where he launched the Read for My School campaign with a book trust. So it was really, I remember that one, I definitely seen it, is in book fairs in schools. I don't know if they do it now, but in primary schools they have like book fairs, and they always like bring out this booklet, like these like brochures or leaflet, and it always says book trust, and it says Read for My School. So it's basically encouraging children, primary school age children, to read. And yeah, so I do remember his campaign. So I haven't read his books before Fox Goes North, but I do remember his campaign for Read for School campaign with Book Trust. And Book Trust is like a very big company that does, you know, do like encouraging reading and promote reading with primary school age, so like early years to, I think, like year 1 or year 2. There is obviously, we do encourage to read books for children from 0 to 18 anyway, or at least from primary school age to 0 to 11, and then 12 to 14 to 15, 16, we should be reading anyway, young children. But I remember he did launch that, and I do remember the seeing this popping out in these like, I don't know, they're not leaflets, they're like booklets, but they like advertise all the books that'll be sold in book fairs, and I always look at them like, which book I'm going to choose. But yeah, so I do remember that. So he's definitely made his legacy through his reading, through his you know, he visited schools. He's definitely, talked about, let me just go back, about is that he was a full-time writer. He definitely visited schools. He even spoke to a prime minister as a reading ambassador. So he's definitely, and he was a multi-award winning author. So he's definitely got his legacy, and this is the illustrator which got me to first reading it as well. And so this is where I first heard about the note from it where I first understood that this was his book, last book. So this is interesting. I just, yeah, so the illustration is really good. I really like the art. That's what got me to go. That's what got me to start reading. So even though the author has passed away, his books lives on, his legacy lives on, his inspiration lives on, you know, his campaign to read for school still lives on. So he's definitely done so much in his life. So it's a bit like Fox, you know. Fox has to, you know, she's a mother, she was a grandmother, she's a great grandmother, she's a cook, she loves to learn, she's open-minded, she's a florist, she helps other animals. In The Snow Leopard said that, you know, Fox is very famous, and kind of reflects Jeremy Strong's own time of being very famous, being a writer, and, you know, campaigning for young children to read. So it's very reflective of the author's own personal life, and also quite inspirational. It's wholesome. It's just like you really make a change, and I thought definitely like check this out. It's about, you know, the journey to go and see the Northern Lights. And I hope you guys will enjoy it and see maybe see it differently to how I'll see it about Jeremy Strong's life. But this is very personal to him, even after he passed away. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you for listening to my book review, and I hope to see you in my next one, which I currently haven't got the book yet, but it will be, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it's called A House of Salt and Sorrows. So it's about basically there was like 12 sisters, but each one is getting is getting killed basically in the story, and they kind of figure out like what's the reason. But it's set like, it's kind of like a seaside, not seaside, like a mermaid, I wouldn't say mermaid, but like summer sea mermaid kind of vibe. So I'm really excited to read it, and I will hope to let you know about it. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Check out this book. It's a very short read, and I love the arts. Like, guys, like you can literally see just how beautiful it is. I do wish it was in color, but yeah. So this is what got me to read. I was like, this looks so interesting and wholesome. Like, look at Fox, she's so cute. All the animals look so cute. So yeah, I hope you guys check it out, even if it's not for the writing, I mean for the plot. Definitely check out for at least for the illustration, because I haven't seen wholesome illustration like this in a while. It's nice to see it's back in books again. Yeah, and also just know that the author died quite recently. He passed away in 2024, which is not long. So this is like a very new book. I feel like I'm the first one to touch this, so, and open it. So definitely check it out and support your local libraries. I get my books from my local libraries. Also, one main reason is I don't really have enough space in my house to store and buy books, and 9 times out of 10 I literally read my books once, so I just can't, you know, it's just too costly to buy books and read it once and then leave it in a shelf. So those who think buying books are costly, check out, please support your local libraries. Please ensure that it's like, you know, keep ensuring that they stay free, and yeah, just free, not even like affordable and low cost. Free books should be free if you're borrowing them. Support your local libraries, attend events that may help you. So yeah, so I get most of my books from local libraries, and yeah, guys, you can check out. And if you like the book, like you can then go to a store and buy it. But I don't know if people buy it, because you already read it. So, and you can always read it again. Sometimes if I return this book, I can always check out this book again. I can always borrow it again. So you can essentially borrow books as many times as you want, providing that no one reserved it. But that's why it is in my library. But obviously you have to return it at some point. But obviously you have to make sure you renew it. If you don't renew it, you are accrue a fine. But that is how it works in my local library. But I don't know how it works in other people's local library. But definitely visit your local library and check out books, or a book, like you don't have, yeah. So, and thank you, and I hope to see you guys soon for my next book review. So bye.